Every now and then in the gacha space, a character releases that is just so much more important to you than any of the others. Sandrone is that character for me. This is the most excited I had been for a character since the release of Furina. And for those of you that don't know, Furina is my favorite character in the game. Naturally, as the whale that I am, I always C6R5 all of my favorite characters, and I was going to do the same for Sandrone, but I was recently laid off from my job. It's been a hard time for me. It's been a hard few weeks. I've been really trying to get back on my feet. And R5, I think, would have been too much for me. You know, I'm not in a bad spot, but I wasn't comfortable going all the way for her. And I had only started with 500 pulls, which for C6R1 is still pretty ambitious. We had a low percent chance to get it done. And I was very thankful that these pulls were genuinely the best pulls I had ever done in my life. Multiple doubles, multiple earlies. I felt like I was dreaming. And I would love to share it with you if any of it had recorded in the first place. Somehow, despite hitting start recording on OBS, none of the footage got recorded of these beautiful summons. The best summons I've ever done in my entire gacha career. It's insane. Like the bittersweet feeling of having the craziest, most lucky summons I've ever had while in a bad financial position where I really don't need to be spending too much money, and then only to find out that it just didn't record at all, any of it. I only have a couple of screenshots from like the crazy pulls. And so now, instead of showing you the lovely footage and my reactions to everything that I would have liked to, I'm instead just going to recount everything that happened with you through my in-game history, because that's all I can do, and show you the screenshots that I do have. I really wish it could be different, but it's all I've got, and I just have to live with the cards that I'm dealt, you know? I don't know what happened, I don't know why OBS didn't record, but whatever the case, this is what we're doing. If I told you that I spent less than 400 summons to C6 Sandrone, would you believe me? So we start off at quite literally 0 pity from my Nicole that I seed 2'd last patch. 519, and then as you can see, the next pull was today, 630. So we do our first 10 pull, we get nothing. It is what it is, you know, I don't expect anything to come in the first 10 pull. But the very next 10 pull, our first Sandrone, first one of the 10 pull too. Immediately, second 10 pull, 11th pull of the entire session, we got Sandrone and we won. And I had mentioned at the start of this that I haven't been lucky lately, like Nod-Krai hasn't been super great to me. So getting the first Sandrone a win just right off the bat was a great way to start. So I continue doing my pulls as you do, and we do eventually make it to pity, where I got another win. C1 Sandrone in like 80 pulls, which is pretty good. I wasn't complaining. So I do my next 10 pull, another 5-star. Is Chi-Chi, is a loss, but it doesn't matter because it was one 10 pull later. Like 5 pulls later in the pity. So we spent like no pity to get that loss, and now we have a guarantee for our next Sandrone. And so I'm just spending my 10 pulls waiting for my guarantee to come. I had said already in the summoning session, like, this feels like it's going pretty well so far. Like, I don't feel too bad about these. We spent 90 pulls and we already have C1 with a guarantee. And then from seemingly out of nowhere, I'd gotten my guaranteed Sandrone in the 10 pull, and immediately 2 pulls after, we got a second one. I made a big deal about this when this happened. This was the first double 5-star that I've ever gotten in this game. I've done like over 14,000 pulls in Genshin Impact, and this is the first double 5-star on a character banner that I've ever done. It was very, very weight off my chest because it's the one game I had never done it before. So I was very happy to get that. C3 Sandrone, and we're just off to the races. Super, super strong so far. You know, I'm riding the high. I'm just trying to get through more 10 pulls. We eventually make it to another pity where I get C4 Sandrone. Right at pity, nice and easy. So we continue going onward for C5. Still, summoning sessions going very well. We've only had one loss, and it was very early, and we got a double and another early Sandrone. It's been an absolute dream of a summoning session. And finally, I make it to my pity for C5. I get my Sandrone, another win, and immediately, 2 pulls after that, D-Luke, another double 5-star, giving us a guarantee for our last Sandrone. And we've spent like 300 something pulls at this point, which is just ridiculous. Like, it's an insane amount of good luck. And so obviously I just spend the remainder of my 10 pulls, and I don't even have to go to pity for it. I go to like maybe 40, 10, yeah, I did like 40 pulls and got my C6 Sandrone. So I spent less than 400 pulls to get C6, which is just insane because we basically had the weapon guaranteed at this point with the star glitter and some extra primos that I had on the side. It was ridiculous living that in the moment. And then I came over to the weapon banner. This was very standard. I had lost to Sitlolly's weapon at Pity, which I wasn't even really that mad about just because of how well the other summons went, and then I didn't even have to do another 30 pulls before I got Sandrone's weapon. This would have been the craziest summoning video I've ever released on my channel. I'm still at a loss for words on how it didn't record in the first place. I really wanted to share this with you. I was going to make YouTube shorts. I was going to have this video. I'm so thankful that these pulls went so well in a time where I could probably need it the most in my life. But it's just so bittersweet knowing that I'll never get to relive those moments, seeing it in the recordings. I watch my own videos. I like watching my own content. Maybe that makes me a narcissist, I don't know, but I like to relive things as they happen, and I'm very sad that I won't get to relive this, because this was a magical summoning session for me, for a character that I love so much too. It's a little heartbreaking, but I will at least know that I was treated very kindly by this banner, and for the first time I can say that my Genshin Impact summons went well. It's a miracle, I know. I will have a C0 to C6 showcase coming out for this character later this week. Other than that, I don't really have much else to add. I don't want to waste your time. I know this video might have already seemed like a waste of time because there's no actual summons inside, and I apologize for that. If it could be different, I would have made it different, but thank you for watching. I have a live stream coming up later in July where I'll be summoning for E6 Rin Tosika. It'll be my final E6 for quite a while until I am fully employed again. I still have work that I do on the side and earn money from, which is why I'm able to still do stuff like this. Like, I'm not gonna like lose my house, but it does mean that I have less ability to spend luxuriously on these gacha games as I please, and other hobbies that I have as well. So you'll see less C6 videos coming from me, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.